Yeah, no, I think this is a great segue into our next question on the docket, the positives and challenges of working for a wallet project. Now, I guess for a little bit of a background context for the listeners, both Eric and myself do work in the wallet space, and me personally, I'm more operational side of things, and Eric is more marketing slash BD, I guess, side of things. So, at least for me, when I entered into this space, I didn't know much of anything about crypto really. So I kind of had to, learn on the fly. And I think a wallet company gives you a much more grounded perspective on the entire space. Just because if you enter into like a DeFi project or an NFT project, you might get really pigeonholed into that specific niche that you're working on and building without a much deeper appreciation of the underlying technology that makes all of this possible, right? I think a wallet is an excellent starting point just because this whole space sprouted out with the introduction of Bitcoin, right? And then the wallets, right? And then everything else came. So yeah, for me, it's just given me a lot more appreciation about sort of the history and the culture of the space and what we're really here for, which is, financial freedom, I guess. Like the whole notion of borderless, permissionless financial framework for anyone and everyone out there, right? So yeah, I think that's definitely a positive side of working for a wallet project. It's a good step. It's a good first step into Web3. So if someone listening, you're wondering how you could get into Web3, obviously first step, make a wallet, create a wallet, or buy a cold storage wallet. Get a little bit of crypto, whatever that might be. Personally, I would probably recommend starting with Bitcoin. It's the safest one out there. And it's the most popular one. And it's easy transition from traditional companies. So whatever your background might be, it's transitioning into a crypto wallet company. Personally, feels like a smoother transition than just jumping into the deep end. Working on a DeFi project. But yeah, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, no, I can echo the same thing. I think one of the safest things you can tell a non-crypto person to do when it comes to crypto is, well, one, besides buying Bitcoin, I think the second safest thing to do is to tell them to own and use a self-custody wallet, right? It's a lot easier in terms of honesty and kind of being very, I guess, unbiased, like you said, to tell your grandma to use a self-custody wallet rather than to tell her to, swap this token on this DEX, right? Or to like mint its NFT collection, or to join this Discord community to receive an airdrop, right?
Yep.
I think telling someone to use a self-custody wallet is the best way for them to, I guess, initially understand the original principles of crypto, right? Is to be able to hold your own financial freedom. And I guess, the disadvantages of working for a wallet company is that I guess sometimes the innovation and the cutting edge technology doesn't always necessarily come from the wallet space, right? A lot of the trending kind of things happening in the space over the past 2 years have been other stuff that's going on in Web3, like the metaverse, NFTs, DeFi. So I think for the wallets, right, sure, you get a very good foundational understanding of your private keys and your coins and your tokens. But But sometimes you're kind of limited to that, right? You're kind of limited to, okay, this is how you can kind of manage your coins and tokens. But then, you kind of run into a wall where it's like, well, then the next step is, what should you recommend that person to do, right? Sure, there's many things out there. But yeah, no, I think in general, working for a wallet team and understanding the wallet space is a great way to be unbiased in your own career as well, right? There is no shilling of any token or any shitcoin or anything. But yeah, so I mean, would there, I guess you can also put up the argument saying that, what would the advantages and disadvantages be of working for a cold or a hot wallet? Right? So
Yeah.
like working for a cold wallet, it's almost as if you are kind of only supporting, the whole notion of keeping your coins and tokens offline.
Yeah, there seems to be this like it's either us or them kind of thing going on, right? Whether it's like content writing or brand messaging, positioning, it always comes down to like, self custody, right? You gotta take control and take ownership of your own coins and tokens, and not to rely on anyone else, and keep it in a offline environment. And that's very us versus them. It's kind of unfortunate, really, because I think these projects we should be able to like sort of work together. However, obviously there are risks involved with both, and in this space, in the wallet space, we haven't gotten to a point in time where our technology has evolved so much that we can sort of combine forces and join forces, and everyone can be interoperable while maintaining security for the users. So
yeah, I find myself, say for example, if you're working for a particular cold storage wallet team, right? You kind of find yourself, when you do meet people, run into people at roadshows or events or conferences, talking to them about what you do, it's almost always like you're unconsciously initially trying to persuade them to take their tokens and coins off their MetaMask or off their hot wallets into cold storage, right? But then you run into a dilemma where it's just like, okay, then how can this person interact with the fast-moving metaverse space or the NFT space?
right.
And that's the kind of conflicting, the contradicting kind of situation that I find myself getting into sometimes, right? It's like, obviously you want to promote, if you're working for a cold storage team, right? This is the wallet for you. It is very good for security, right? It's safe. It's in your own hands. You don't need to worry about hackers and whatnot. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, but then this guy wants to, be part of the crypto gambling circus.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing with a sort of early stage industry in a way, right? Because there are compromises to be made at every turn, right? Like like the blockchain technology underlining principle, the trilemma issue, right? That there's a compromise with wallet security, right? You want to keep your private keys in a cold storage solution that's completely offline and segregated from the world. Well, then too bad. You can't really access any dApps with ease, right? You have to jump through hoops, sign transactions. So yeah, that's the thing. But that's also why it's sort of exciting to be in this space, because you can sort of like witness the progression of technology and mindset in this field, and witness people coming up with novel approaches to these problems. So yeah, that's both an upside and a challenge.
Just one more note on that topic too. This analogy might be exaggerating a little bit, but get this, right? I sometimes find cold storage teams, cold storage projects to be synonymous with life insurance salesmen, right? They're selling you something that you need in the event something bad happens, right?
Yeah.
It's safe, right? It can it can give you peace of mind in whatever event that is, right? But at the same time, it's just like nobody wants to buy it. Nobody wants to pay the premiums for life insurance, right?
That's right.
So you're almost in this conflicting kind of dilemma where sure you want to be part of the Web3 fast moving space, but at the same time you still need to push for security first, right? So there's a balance that we all need to kind of strive towards. Speaking of challenges, what would you say, in your personal opinion, the challenges of getting a new user to use a crypto wallet?
Yeah, I mean, I think we covered a lot of the points in our earlier discussion already. The biggest challenge is just a changing of habits, right? Because ostensibly we're converting two groups of people, those people who literally just got into crypto, like day one users, and those people who are already in the crypto space, whether it's a week or 10 years, right? So for both groups of people, you kind of have to change their habits, right? For the first group of people, crypto day one users, you have to convince them that this is the right way to go. And like you mentioned before, it's an uphill battle for sure, especially with so many like advertisement coming from exchanges, and a lot of people's first impression of crypto, is FTX, right? But before the whole debacle, or even until now, right? Those people are still around. Their first exposure to crypto was FTX or Coinbase or Gemini in the US, or even Robinhood, right? Earlier, in early days. But yeah, so these people, their impression is that, oh, I have these large companies out there who can provide me with an easy on-ramp into this field. And so for a wallet team to come in and to say, we might not be as flashy as those guys, and we might not have those kind of flashy advertisements or football stadiums, but we have the superior technology. And then they would go, okay, why? And then you kind of have to jump down into the rabbit hole and like try to explain everything to them. And then next thing you know, you're like 2 hours into a conversation with some guy, and that's just one guy, right? And you have to do that over and over and over again. And then for the second group of people, obviously they've been in the crypto space for a long time, and again there are these institutional forces and momentums like shifting them towards one direction. We're trying to fight against that current. And so yeah, like changing someone's habits, it's difficult, and the part that goes along with this would be education, crypto education. We need like good material, easily digestible, bite-sized content to put out there for a lot of people to really understand this thing. But yeah, that's basically my take. What do you think?
Yeah, I find for newbies, like what you said, first-time crypto people, or not even first-time crypto people, just like people that haven't even owned crypto or Bitcoin yet, besides the challenge of getting them to use a wallet and know how to use a wallet, I think there's still a challenge of getting them to accept why they should buy Bitcoin.
Really?
Yes. I many times I tell people, this is the wallet team that I work for. This is the project that we do. This is why our wallet is better than other wallets. Mm-hmm. But then I feel like for them, they still have questions about why Bitcoin in general. And it goes into pivoting that conversation into, telling them, why Bitcoin was created in the first place, or what is Bitcoin here for? Why was Bitcoin created? What is Bitcoin trying to solve?